A very warm welcome. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Shanakshi Chakravarti. The big political focus. Prime Minister Narendra Modi praised Tamil Nadu as a special place and lauded the Tamil language as eternal and its culture as global. He has inaugurated 11 projects worth 31,000 crore rupees. This is the Prime Minister's first official visit to Tamil Nadu after DMK came to power last year. DMK beat their archivals AIADMK in the 2021 Assembly elections. Prime Minister Modi hit out at CM KCR over dynasty politics. Meanwhile, the TRS hit back, saying that the Prime Minister spoke like a BJP worker and not the Prime Minister. Meanwhile, CM MK Stalin, who shared the stage with the Prime Minister, demanded that Tamil be made an official language, just like Hindi. Take a look.
तेलंगाना के लोग देख रहे हैं कि एक परिवार को समर्पित पार्टियां.
A politically charged environment where both Prime Minister Modi and Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao indirectly took potshots at each other. In KCR's home turf, Prime Minister Modi accused him of corruption and family politics.
तेलंगाना के लोग देख रहे हैं कि एक परिवार को समर्पित पार्टियां जब सत्ता में आती है तो कैसे उस परिवार के सदस्य भ्रष्टाचार उसका सबसे बड़ा चेहरा बन जाते हैं.
The Telangana Chief Minister wasn't in Hyderabad to welcome the Prime Minister Modi. Instead, he was in Bengaluru rallying support from the JDS Supremos, the Gowdas. K. Chandrasekhar Rao promised a sensational announcement soon while attacking the Prime Minister, making it clear that he is not the B team of the BJP.
हालात बिगड़ता जा रहा है दिन ब दिन. भाषणबाजी तो बहुत होता है, प्रॉमिसेस बहुत किए जाते हैं, लेकिन होता यह है, असलियत क्या है? इंडस्ट्री क्लोजर हो रहा है, जीडीपी क्रैश हो रहा है, इन्फ्लेशन ऑन द हाई राइज है, रुपया पूरा कंप्लीटली गिर गया है, नेवर बिफोर इन द हिस्ट्री. देश के युवाओं को, देश के बुद्धिजीवियों को, देश के जर्नलिस्ट भाइयों का ये फर्ज बनता है कि भारत बदले, जरूर बदले और जरूर बदलेगा.
The Prime Minister also visited Chennai, with his party organizing a road show. Even though it has a negligible presence in the state, it won only 4 seats of the assembly seats last year. In Tamil Nadu, Modi launched and laid the foundation for projects worth 31,000 crore rupees. This includes the highways, railways, and a 5,000 crore rupee project to 2-tier elevated corridor in Chennai, launched by the DMK in its last venture over a decade ago, but put in cold storage by the AIADMK regime.
It is always wonderful to be back in Tamil Nadu. This is land, and this land is special. The people, culture and language of this state are outstanding. We have gathered here to celebrate yet another glorious chapter of Tamil Nadu's development journey.
MK Stalin, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, has always been vocal about the Hindi imposition by the BJP Supremos, and on a couple of occasions he has directly warned Home Minister Amit Shah on how the imposition of Hindi tactic won't help them win Tamil Nadu.
பழமைக்கும் பழமையாய் புதுமைக்கும் புதுமையாய் உலக செம்மொழிகளில் இன்றளவும் சீரழமை திறத்தோடு உயிர்ப்போடு விளங்கக்கூடிய தமிழை இந்திக்கு இணையான அலுவல் மொழியாகவும் உயர்நீதிமன்றத்தில் வழக்காடு மொழியாகவும் அறிவிக்க வேண்டும். இறுதியாக மருத்துவ மாணவர் சேர்க்கைக்கு கொண்டு வரப்பட்டுள்ள தேசிய தகுதி மற்றும் நுழைவுத் தேர்வு நீட் முறையை தமிழ்நாடு அரசு தொடர்ந்து எதிர்த்து வருகிறது.
Interestingly, Tamil Nadu's Chief Minister was the first CM K. Chandrasekhar Rao visited when he started heading out against the BJP late last year. M.K. Stalin is currently part of an alliance with the opposition Congress. Next on KCR's visiting list, the Odisha's Naveen Patnaik and West Bengal's Mamata Banerjee. K. Chandrasekhar Rao believes that the time has come to forge an alliance without the BJP or the Congress for that matter. He sends out a very strong message, in fact a warning to Prime Minister Narendra Modi that something big awaits, not just him but also BJP-led NDA. With Sam and Govind, Shrija for NDTV.
And to some more political news coming in at this hour from Rajasthan Congress. The minister close to Ashok Gehlot, his name is Ashok Chandana, has vented his anger against the state bureaucracy, saying that he wants to be relieved of his responsibilities. Also, Ashok Chandana, he's the sports minister and MLA from Bundi, is believed to be very close to the chief minister. I am joined by my colleague Harsha at this point for more. Harsha, the minister has tweeted venting his anger, but just last week we saw another MLA send his resignation to Chief Minister Gehlot. Are we to believe that there are cracks within Team Gehlot and there are issues only within the bureaucracy, or is there something more politically?
Well, yes, that really is the million-dollar question, and definitely the fact that Ashok Chandana has tweeted something like this means that there is more to than what meets the eye. Now, if it was just an issue with the bureaucracy, that would have probably been resolved by the Chief Minister at a different level. But the fact that he's tweeting like this, saying that he doesn't want to take on responsibilities of his ministership, that there is some kind of a power tussle within Team Gehlot, which has obviously led to this. And as you rightly pointed out, this comes barely 10 days after Ganesh Ghogra. He's a tribal leader, MLA from Dungarpur. He also offered to resign and he sent his resignation to the Chief Minister. Now, he also had an issue with the bureaucracy over the distribution of land deeds. So, clearly, just ahead of the Rajya Sabha elections, which are on the 10th of June, and where every vote counts, because remember, the system of voting for the Rajya Sabha is a complicated math. So, where every MLA, every vote counts, Team Gehlot does not want this kind of disgruntlement. So clearly, we should probably be seeing the Chief Minister doing some troubleshooting this week, but let's wait and watch. As they say in politics, you never know.
All right, Harsha, thanks very much with those details. So maybe we are to believe that there are perhaps cracks within Team Gehlot. Moving on to some more political news, even as suspense over the candidature of Union Minister RP Singh from the Janata Dal continues, Party Supremo and Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar finally met him on Thursday evening. The meeting, which was also attended by Party President Rajiv Ranjan Singh, went on for about 45 minutes. But it is still not clear whether Singh will get another term, or will Nitish finally communicate to him about his decision to drop him this time. In fact, staying with more political news of the day, Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav has decided to choose ally Jayant Chaudhary over his wife Dimple Yadav as the party's candidate for Rajya Sabha. Jayant Chaudhary will be the joint candidate of the Samajwadi Party and the Rashtriya Lok Dal. The party said in a tweet after reports yesterday that Dimple Yadav, a former SP MP, had snagged the party's third and last Rajya Sabha slot. Jayant Chaudhary was believed to have been upset. In fact, my colleague Sanket Upadhyay has more on this.
So let's now quickly tell you how the numbers stack up. There are elections on 57 seats in Rajya Sabha. That means 57 new members are to be chosen. Where all in this country are they going to be? That map right in front of you. 2 in Punjab, 2 in Haryana, 4 in Rajasthan, 3 in Madhya Pradesh, 2 in Chhattisgarh, 6 in Maharashtra, in Karnataka there are 4. In Uttar Pradesh there are 11, 5 in Bihar, 2 in Jharkhand, 3 in Odisha, 2 in Telangana, 4 in Andhra Pradesh and 6 in Tamil Nadu. This adds up to 57 Rajya Sabha seats on which Rajya Sabha MPs are going to be chosen. Now let's quickly tell you what is the current scenario of these 57. Here are the numbers. So the BJP has 24. There are 8 of the Congress and 25 others. And among these 25, there are 12 who are pro-BJP and 13 who are anti-BJP. So the BJP of these 57 has a majority. Only on this 57, not overall. What is the scenario that is likely post these elections? That projection on your screen right now, BJP will have 21, others will be at 26, Congress slight edge with 10, that means slight increase. But of these others, how many are likely to be pro-BJP? 11 and 15 are likely to be anti-BJP. So again, in pure numbers of these 57, the BJP has an edge in the Rajya Sabha. Now let's quickly tell you the big suspense stories as far as this election is concerned. Suspense number 1 was ended today because it was from Uttar Pradesh. So we know that Kapil Sibal was elected, in fact he was nominated as an independent, and then you had Mr. Javed Ali. But the third seat, there was a bit of a fight and a suspense and a contest whether it should be Akhilesh's wife Dimple Yadav or Jayant Chaudhary. Now there is confirmation that Jayant Chaudhary is going to go to the Rajya Sabha on a joint Samajwadi Party RLD ticket. Let's now move to Bihar because suspense continues over there. In Bihar, Nitish Kumar is yet to open his cards. He's yet to declare who his nominees are going to be. So that big double suspense continues. And the problem over here is that the lone minister in the Modi government from the JDU, Mr. RP Singh, is really hoping against hope that he gets chosen and he gets nominated. So far, Nitish Kumar has not done that, and the last day is the 31st of May. So will that decision be taken by Nitish Kumar, or is Nitish going to decide something else? So the suspense as far as the race to Rajya Sabha in Bihar continues.
Shifting focus to other political news from the national capital, the IAS officer who walked his dog in a Delhi stadium triggered controversy. The Delhi government's move on the stadiums, in fact, the MHA had sought a report from the chief secretary on these news reports regarding the misuse of facilities at the stadium by Sanjay Khirwar and his wife Rinku Dugga. The chief secretary had submitted a report later in the evening on the factual position of the MHA. Meanwhile, the IAS officer, the bureaucrat himself, Sanjeev Khirwar, has been transferred by the MHA to Ladakh and his wife to Arunachal Pradesh. Necessary action will be initiated based on the report. Remember, the Indian Express had reported that over the past few months, athletes and coaches at the Delhi government's Tyagraj Stadium have been complaining about being forced to wrap training earlier than usual by 7 p.m. because Delhi's principal secretary, the revenue, Mr. Sanjeev Khirwar, had walked his dog at the facility for about half an hour later. Shifting focus to West Bengal, it is Mamta versus the governor once again. Mamta Banerjee's government in West Bengal has decided to introduce a bill in the assembly to make chief ministers and not the governor the chancellor of all state universities in Bengal. The move is likely to draw a fresh battle line between Banerjee, who also heads the ruling Trinamool Congress, and Governor Jagdeep Dhankar, who is the state's ruling party. Leaders have accused of working with the centre to harass the Mamta Banerjee government on key issues. Take a look.
আজকে রাজ্যের মন্ত্রিসভা সর্বসম্মতক্রমে একটি সিদ্ধান্ত নিয়েছে যে পশ্চিমবঙ্গের যত সরকারি বিশ্ববিদ্যালয় আছে তার চ্যান্সেলর পদে অর্থাৎ আচার্য পদে মন্ত্রিসভা গভর্নরের পরিবর্তে রাজ্যের মুখ্যমন্ত্রীর নাম চ্যান্সেলর হিসেবে সর্বসম্মতক্রমে গ্রহণ করেছে। এইটা এরপর বিধানসভায় যাবে, তারপর এটা एक्ट हिसेबे लागू होबे।
आज जो किया, जो चांसलर से हटा के मुख्यमंत्री खुद चांसलर बन जाएगा, ये तो जैसे पहले इन लोगों ने फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर को नष्ट करने का कोशिश किए थे, कर भी रहा है। आज फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर को नष्ट करने का कोशिश कर रहा है, साथ साथ कानून को और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को भी चुनौती देने का काम शुरू कर दिया। जो परंपरा बंगाल में है उस परंपरा को तोड़ने का कोशिश कर रहा है।
Latest in the Gyanvapi case, a plea by Masjid Management Committee was heard in Varanasi court on Thursday. The mosque committee lawyers have argued that the filming in the mosque was illegal and that the plea to do puja in the complex is illegal. The next hearing will take place on Monday. More details in this report.
The first hearing of the Gyanvapi Mosque case in the court of Varanasi's senior most judge went on for 2 hours this afternoon. Arguments were made by lawyers for the mosque committee who have contested a petition by 5 women from a religious organization who claim there are idols of Hindu gods and goddesses inside the mosque. The mosque committee argued that both the petition and the court-ordered filming inside the Gyanvapi Mosque were illegal and called the petition itself frivolous and non-serious, alleging that it made contradictory claims. The mosque committee will continue its arguments on Monday.